Welcome, Manchester United fans. It's been a great Monday morning for me. It's been a fantastic Monday morning. The night after the fantasy world that we lived the night before. How is everyone doing? I'm sorry I'm a little bit late. I was on football's 12th man. Had to go and give Errol a piece of my mind after what happened yesterday. And I don't think you can all be a bit angry about that. Look, let's get into the crux of it. Manchester United off the back of a famous win at Anfield. And we can set aside that Liverpool are in a bit of a sore spot at the moment. We can set aside that Slot might not be the right guy for Manchester United. But the one thing we have to talk about tonight is this. Rúben Amorim absolutely has come in for criticism this season. But yesterday, like the title that I have put, I saw a man reborn. I saw a manager with faith from the players. I saw a manager who had belief in what he was trying to do. And more importantly, I saw a group of players who had belief in what they wanted to do. I was absolutely blown away by it yesterday. Absolutely blown away by it. I think we have to keep our feet on the ground. Of course we do. And Amorim was very, very quick to point that out last night. He said the words, it's all about next Saturday. Brighton, another team, another bogey team that we have in this league, could quite easily knock us off this field of pure and utter of elation at the moment. But we have to enjoy it, chat. We have to enjoy it. If we would have lost yesterday, Amorim would have been called out for the formation. He would have been called out for the squad that he selected. And let's be honest, at the start of the game, there wasn't many of us in this chat that sat there and went, that team's going to go and do what it needs to do. And do you know something? The way he set it up, the way he worked his men out, it worked an absolute treat. So I'm absolutely over the moon. I'm buzzing. It's been a great day at work. Some Liverpool fans that work with me have been very, very quiet and very, very humble. Let's get into some of the comments, though. Chappie says, let's see what the next game brings before we get carried away. Nothing wrong with feeling like that at all, Chappie. But I would say, like Carl says, we have to enjoy these results. We have to. This is what football is all about. This is what the rivalry is all about. We were not expected to do anything yesterday. All week, I was saying, just get into them. Don't show them any respect. And that is exactly what we did. Chappie says, agreed, Carl, but we need consistency, and we absolutely do. And Andy says, it's a start winning back-to-back games. Let's hope we can carry on. Look, that is one thing that is off the manager's back now. 11 months, and we've just won back-to-back games. Did anyone really talk about that today? No. And the thing that makes me laugh is the media not really giving United their flowers, as always. But the main thing is we are 2 points behind Liverpool. We are a point behind Chelsea, a point behind Spurs. Manchester United, by hook or by crook, are absolutely in this race for Europe. It's early on. We've got a game against Brighton. We've got Forest after that. I said to Kev last night, and I'll bring him in a second, I said to Kev last night, when we looked at the fixtures a couple of weeks ago, we had us beating Brentford and losing against Liverpool. And then after that, we saw ourselves picking up a lot of points. Are we somewhere near? Let's ask the man himself. Before we ask the man himself, let's take ourselves back down memory lane. Is it back to... Oh! Ball played back across. And it's Maguire! Get here! Come on! Harry Maguire! Honestly, they say about living a night over and over again, Kev. That was just extraordinary. How you feeling, my man?
Oh, hang on, let me turn this down. I was watching that there. Let me turn it down. That's hilarious. You know, I watched that back a few times. Got a shirt on, yes, come on. I watched that back a few times, but I watched the Harry Maguire about 30 times. Just kept rewinding. Rewind. How you getting on? All right?
Mate, buzzing. Absolutely buzzing.
Evening, everyone.
It was just honestly like elation, wasn't it? Pure elation. And
yeah, absolutely.
And again, I was saying to the chat, and same with, like I say to you, I woke up this morning and life was just a bit sweeter, just that bit more sweeter. I floated into work. You know what I mean? I floated through the door and I was like, hello, yes, I'm here.
You got Liverpool fans at work?
Oh, I've got 2 or 3 of them.
Oh,
it was great. And do you know what it was? And this is classic Liverpool. This is, oh, you've won 2 in a row and you think you're back. And it's like, no. It's not about thinking we're back. It's about beating you and seeing you lose 4 in a row. It was just extraordinary. Questions, Kev. Like I was just talking about Amorim, and I've titled the video Amorim Reborn. I know we have to obviously air an element of caution here, but what was different yesterday?
Loads of stuff. I've against my normal. I generally watch the match and then watch the next match. I try not to get involved in anything in between. But as been doing this, been listening to a bit more. So I've listened to loads of stuff today. It clearly changed loads of stuff. One thing that was the big glaring one, which we didn't pick up on, we were dead confused by yesterday. We didn't play a single ball out from the back at all yesterday.
We didn't, did we?
We didn't play a single ball out. There was a very important reason, because that's what Arne Slot was expecting us to do and wanted, and it was annoyed at us for another team that comes and doesn't play the way they want them to play.
How dare a team want to come and compete,
sit back and play the low block? So that was a huge thing. And you know what? I've gone on and on the live streams and on sort of watch-alongs and these live streams about the second ball, and that was what that was all about yesterday, was the second ball. And I've seen a lot of analytics and a lot of people analysing the game on the big screens and all the rest of it. People probably watched a little bit of that before the game started, the Brentford game, which I haven't got on. I'll put that on in a minute, actually. But that was a massive change. Long ball, it doesn't matter whether somebody was going to get onto it. That was never the purpose. The purpose was to bring the defenders forward, get them to put their head on it, because that's what they were going to do. And then we've got 5-6 players in that space to win the second ball, which we did. I think the stat was we won 75 of the second balls yesterday.
It's mad.
So we didn't play a single ball. And there was highlighted Harry Maguire and Casemiro both pointing to Lemmy, the ace of saves, to get the ball up, just get it up.
And he was over-kicking it. He was over-kicking it, Kev, as well. And I watched it back. I was watching it back on my lunch break today. His goal kicks, he was told, over-kick it. He wants it as far up the field as possible. And every time Liverpool, you almost sort of saw the defence, Van Dijk, Konate, they'd win the first ball, and then they compose themselves, look up, and they go, oh, they've got the ball again. And what United did, which you don't see a lot of teams do at Anfield, I give Amorim credit for this. He crowded out the midfield in that sense. So we've been moaning for so long about the flat back 5, and then it's a 2 midfield, and then you've got the 3, the false 9, whatever. Yesterday, we saw it several times. When we were out of possession, when that ball got kicked up the field, we reverted straight into a 5-4-1. And it wasn't too narrow. They were narrow, and they were eating it up. And look,
and they're not playing Sesko. That's the other part of that as well. That was the reason that we were also disappointed.
It was a brilliant.
And I hope it didn't. Your comment before the game was, and I hope it hasn't. That'll kill him. That'll really hurt him. But as long as he's understood why, and he can see the victory, and he's taken the victory with the rest of the team, then he seemed fairly happy at the end. But why wouldn't he be? Is because that played into their hands, didn't it? Because Konate and Van Dijk like a nice physical battle in the air, and will probably have won a lot of them, or 50-50 with him, and then we're not getting the second balls then. So a lot worked, but again, the complete flip side of that, and with all the victory and everything, it was great watching it. Great in the evening. Great watching back some of the salty reactions on YouTube compilations.
It wasn't great watching it, mate. Those last 8 minutes.
In retrospect, thinking about watching it, it was exciting to watch. It was infuriatingly. The suspense was unbelievable. That last second half felt for ages. But today, again, by the end of the day, I'm just going, because what people are saying, and it's not been the narrative I thought it would be. It's like, well, that result doesn't mean anything unless he wins against Brighton. And we've just been doing this all season. We need to win against Chelsea, or we need to beat Sunderland, or we need to beat Liverpool. So we've done all of that, but we're still, a lot of Man United fans and a lot of the pundits are still going, well, it doesn't mean anything. It's still got to go and beat Brighton, otherwise it means nothing. Actually, it probably puts more pressure on Amorim as well now to go and win the next match.
I disagree slightly with the pundits for that, because what I think this does now, there was a moment last season where he come out. I think it was when we got a draw at Anfield, and he said, and they said, you've just beat City, you've just beat, you've got a point at Anfield. How are you feeling? Are you over the moon? He said, well, no, because why can't they do this every week? And I think what the players have done, unbeknownst to them now, and you saw them yesterday, they were willing to die for each other. They were willing to die for that manager on the pitch. They were throwing themselves everywhere. Bruno ran himself into the ground. He was knackered, had to come off. What they've done, I think, the players here is there is now an expectation from us, the fans, I think, and there has to be, for these players to put the same energy into Brighton.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, you want to get, you can get yourself all riled up for Liverpool. Of course you can. It's a big game. There's a lot of people in this chat who are old enough to know exactly how much this rivalry burns and how much it hurts when we lose. So I kind of feel like we have to, on Saturday, we have to give the manager his grace this week, and we have to, instead of saying, well, it'll mean nothing for the manager if we don't go and get the win, I think we have to look at the players here and say, now you've done that, you've shown exactly what you can do, you've shown what you're about, you've shown that you are willing to die for the badge. Now go out there and get the points against Brighton. Let me go through some of these comments, because I'm sorry, I've missed a few of them. Ben says, good evening, Ben, by the way, mate. And make sure you smash a like on the video. If you're new, hit the subscribe button, as always. He says, I'm a stat man. When Ange flies back to Melbourne from London, he could watch every minute of his time in charge at Forest and still have time to watch all 3 Crocodile Dundee films before landing. Other stat on that, though, Ben, he's £7 million better off today. I mean, I wouldn't mind being sacked after 8 games and getting that. Steve-O, I was about to read my own comment out there. Steve-O says, hi, guys. I want all-out revenge for Brighton next game, particularly after Onana's 2 blunders. Remember, Onana just watching the cross for a goal and then the cross he fumbled in the box.
My goodness, yeah.
I want to get onto the goalkeepers in a minute, actually. You'll get a sore neck if it's on the floor, says Ben. Had to laugh at Goldbridge. He said Dorgu was brilliant when he come on. He must have watched a different game. I thought Dorgu was poor yesterday. I thought
he only just about a little bit of redemption by the end. He wasn't. He didn't come on ready to. He didn't come on team ready. He didn't come on team ready. It took him 15 minutes, and he was only on for what? I don't know how long he was on. 15 minutes, was it?
But then you look at the difference. Ugarte come on for War. Like, I thought Ugarte did very well when he come on yesterday. Good evening, Warbzo. Good to see you, mate. 3-star Reds. I'm sorry for this, mate. He says we're going to get Champions League. We've got Dice. I can't believe that. The script was written down. It had to be Harry. Of course it did. And we're going to have a chat later on, chat, because I want to revisit a question I asked you about a week ago. You all laughed at me, but Carl says, I did say Amorim knew what he was doing. Just to put that out there, you did, Carl. You were very consistent with that. Did you see Xerxes? You would have thought he'd have played all game. Do you know what, though, Andy? I saw this, and I agree. I was knackered last night, and I was sat in Kev's studio there, watching it next to Kev, behind the TV screen. The players on the bench, they must have been living every moment, every second, every minute. So I'm not surprised he was knackered. Only negative for me, says 3-star Reds, was that Bruno not having a shot on target cost me 40 quid return on it. Oh, sorry to hear that. And Bowsy, good to see you, man. I haven't seen you for a while. I hope you're doing well, mate. He says, boom, smash the Paul way. Get in there. I agree the performance. I agree the performance under a microscope wasn't the best, but United at Anfield is just one of those games you have to win any way you can. You can't analyze these types of games, in my opinion, pure emotion.
I listened to a little bit of good old Slabhead. Yeah, Slabhead. He's been still getting called that. I listened to a tiny bit of Rio Ferdinand's after-match chat at the end of the game last night as well, and he said something quite interesting. He said, "You know how big the game is." Diego Forlan had a horrific time at Man United and went to Anfield and scored 2, and the next week he had a song about him.
Diego, whoa, Diego, whoa. He come from Uruguay. He made the Slices cry. Oh, yes. Diego Forlan was one of my favorites.
I mean, that was just, you see, getting little tidbits off ex-players like that of their time and what their thoughts are. But he just said how big a game that was. But it just brings you down. Just bring me down a little bit today. Just hearing, he's probably under more pressure now. He's got to go and win. Otherwise, it doesn't mean anything. And Amorim didn't really get any credit, or nobody really spoke about him today from what I've listened to. It's more been about the players. You know, they're quick to absolutely slaughter him, but actually when he does the right thing, he gets like a 1 minute or 30 second soundbite. Oh, he did well. It was the right choice, and then that's it. There's nothing else said at all. So, but he's used to that. In his press conference, did he say, "Don't change your narrative"? The second the embargoed part, he said, "I don't want you to change your narrative. I want you to keep your narrative the same, and we'll go on and do what we can do against Brighton." So
I want to try and find something. I want to try and find something that I saw yesterday. Can I find it? Yes, I can. Right, let me save this picture. Let me see if it'll let me save it and let me put it on the screen. And this is interesting. We've all had our comments about this. We've all said there's a problem, there's an issue. There's something going on between the manager and Mainu here. And then I saw this picture. Where is it? Where is it? Where have I put it? And I want to bring this up because I think it needs to be mentioned. Where did I put it? Oh, I'll have to find it again. Is it there? No, that's Stranger Things. You don't want Stranger Things. You don't want Garnacho. Is it there? Is it that one? Ah, here we go. Here it is. And this picture, when United scored the winner, that is pure emotion. I get it. But that, to me, doesn't look like a player and a manager who really have a problem. And look, we're going to be positive. Of course we are. It's the day after the night before. But I thought Mainu come on and did his job okay yesterday. I still think there's obviously some questions to be asked as to why he's not playing. And, you know, we can sing about that till the cows come home. But what I saw yesterday, Kevin, I want to move on from this slightly, but I saw a group of lads that were behind the manager and were playing for this yesterday. I really did.
I know Jamie's saying that, sorry to cut you off there. Jamie's saying that he didn't think Sesko played well when he came and kept losing everything. I thought we both said we thought he did quite well. Actually,
he did okay.
He put Cunha through for the throw-in that we won, that we then got the goal from. I thought he did all well, you know, but that's why you got their opinions. I think we both said we thought he did quite well when he came on. And
as Anthony said, the more we've watched it back, Amorim got the tactics spot on. Amorim bamboozled Slot. Slot was expecting Sesko. Slot was expecting a big guy up top against Van Dijk, and it didn't work like that. But there's something that was said. Who was it that said it before? And I just want to come back to this because it's a great point.
Yeah, that I was going to say as well for Chappie. That's not Rúben Amorim that he's on the back of. That's
you can't.
I did watch him.
It was a happy moment, can you?
They all went mad. They were all jumping about. They all went mad. So no, I get your point. Your point's still valid. He was happy that he was over the moon. But he's the local lad. Of course he would be. But yeah, Amorim had his black tracksuit on. Remember? Yeah, which I really like, by the way.
So this one that Steve commented here, I want to go through this because in point here in particularly after Onana's two big blunders, remember Onana just watching the cross. Yesterday, Kev, how many times did they get through to Ace of Saves, Lemmy? And did you honestly not panic? It's ridiculous. And we go back to how bad we've been over the past couple of years and how many times the goalkeeper has dropped us in it, how many times the goalkeeper has come flapping, how many times a defence have looked behind them at this goalkeeper and gone, I don't fancy this. I don't fancy this at all. I thought Lemmy yesterday, considering it was his first game away from Manchester, you know, it's his debut away game.
Just a little game at Anfield. Just
a little game at Anfield. And I thought he looked so calm. I thought he looked absolutely calm as a cucumber. And I think he was enjoying himself. He was enjoying himself.
Yeah. I wasn't scared of it. You know, I always get the sense that when teams attack against us, that they're probably going to score. So evening Moxie, how you doing? So that sense wasn't there. I thought Liverpool would score because they're at Anfield. So I thought they would put enough pressure on us to get a goal. Even when we were 1-0 up, I still think they've got a goal in them. But I didn't just feel like every time they went forward we were going to concede. You know, that Gakpo, 4 off the post, and that one on the inside of the post.
3 off the post, and then
little deflection off the defender that took it up and over Lamens. But as I said at that moment, he was right across the goal at the other post in a flash, so he was ready for it. And yeah, if Isak scores that goal, it might have been a completely different game, but he didn't, because we've got a good goalkeeper now, and that makes a massive difference. Somebody said that in the chat as well. Makes a massive
Does the
difference.
basics so easily.
I think the players are still getting used to it as well. Dan, having a good goalkeeper, it's going to take a lot of them to getting used to going, oh yeah, we have got a good goalkeeper. We can pass the ball back to him, actually. And a comment was made as well.
About that, so confident with the ball.
He didn't have any bad. None of his passes were particularly bad. They weren't bad. He was doing what he was asked to do, which was play it long every time. And there was that one we thought, oh, did he mean to do that? And we just gave him the benefit of the doubt. We said, yeah, I said, yeah, he did mean to do that. Played it through the middle into Bruno or somebody into the middle. So it makes a massive difference. And I hope he'll continue to improve as well, because obviously he's just starting out. So he can only get better, same as Sesko. Obviously, Cunha and Mbeumo got massive credit yesterday for their knowledge of the Premier League and how to play against Premier League.
I mean, they were Cunha did the most thankless task I've seen anyone do in a Manchester United shirt at Anfield since the days of Park Ji-sung. He knew what his role was. It was to just hassle, try and hold the ball up as much as he could up top there, and try and create something. I thought he was exceptional.
Even in the last minute, the very last, I think Szoboszlai got played short to Szoboszlai. The very last seconds of the game before the whistle was blown, he's jumping up and the ball's coming off his back to block it going straight directly into the box, and it just dropped short of the box. So he didn't even let off, or he wasn't switched off by that point in the game. He was still fighting. It was him that was faffing about with that free kick. You were saying, he knows what he's doing. He was going back to the player, going, no, the player's down. You need to wait. You need to.
He was almost holding the player down, saying, "Still the floor. We're going to get you out of here."
And then he got into a tiny little tussle with Kanata as well, a little bit of push with Kanata as well.
So, and I tell you what, as well, I thought Mason Mount did well yesterday. Mason Mount is playing some of his best football we've seen, in a United shirt this season under Amorim. And let's be honest, I love being right sometimes, Kev. I'm not right all the time. The picture's the classic example of that. But I said at the start of pre-season, get this guy match fit and let's have a conversation about him. Let's see what he can bring to the team. And I think he's been incredible. Andy says, do you think the players are getting behind him? Yeah, I do. But at the same time, I do and I don't, because the proof will be in the pudding on Saturday. These boys, I would expect at Old Trafford, the crowd are going to be up for it because we've just beat Liverpool away at Anfield. The crowd are going to be full of, in full voice. They've got to do the same. But this is the other thing, Kev. We mentioned about the Sesko decision, dropping Sesko and playing the three up there. Is this different variations of the system he's been talking about all along?
Yes, it is. Yeah, absolutely. We can vary ourselves. Look at that. We can play 5 low block and completely piss off Liverpool for 100 and however minutes it was in the end. And just back to the Mount thing, I have heard a couple of people say they didn't think he played well, but I did. I thought he played well as well. He was
hard working.
He maybe wasn't on the ball that much as he was in the previous games, but that doesn't mean he didn't play well. He's still got to do a job for the team, and I like to watch him because he's the number 7. I like to watch him. I'm still obsessed with the number 7. That anyway. But I do watch him when he's playing it, and he was. The big thing was that big thing, which you don't notice until you watch back. I watched the whole game back again. The last night before I went to bed, I watched the whole game back again, and it was amazing how easy it was to watch it back on a replay. And looking at they were dead. They were so narrow, and Mbeumo, just things like when they had a throw in on the other side, they weren't letting them throw it. The Liverpool made the throw-ins. They wanted to throw. That's been analysed as well. And they just weren't letting him do that. And that's because Mbeumo's come right across. He wasn't staying right in that right-hand channel. He was coming really narrow. So they were stopping it going back to the defender. They were stopping it going forward. And then they were stopping it coming in. So, and that led to that stupid free throw-in that Szoboszlai did, that the goalkeeper rushed. And then Harry Maguire got bashed in the face and got up and said, I'm not having that, by the way. Let me watch me just put this in at the back post. You can elbow me all you want. I'll still knock it past you.
I loved it. I thought it was exceptional. I think now we've put ourselves in a conversation that, let's be honest, after Brentford, we were all feeling low. We were all feeling tired, and we were out of excuses. Even the best, even the best of them, Ben, I think after that game would have been sat there going, Christ almighty, I'm saying back him. But something seems to be changing in the water here. Something seems to be changing.
Really great advice after that game, Dan. It was absolutely brilliant. Some of the advice I was giving is saying nobody heard it.
Oh, somebody cut you off, mate. Sorry about that. Oh, dearie me. Chappie with a very nice comment. This is Dan. He's the man. Like and subscribe if you can. Yes, make sure you do. Make sure you do. And Baba Fossey says also Xerxes celebrating after the final whistle. It was the tunnel. It was like when they followed Harry Maguire back into the changing room. It was just amazing. Andy says, I have to say Amorim changed his tactics yesterday, so he can change when he wants to, so fair play to him. He absolutely can. Moxie also says, Bruno hit the post as well to make it 2-0, watched it back and still can't believe he missed it.
Mount had that chance as well, remember? Mount had that chance as well.
Yeah. Having said it gives the defence confidence too. Look, things are moving in the right direction for Manchester United, and this is the comment I wanted to go forward with tonight. This is what the narrative I wanted to sort of speak about. We know that Manchester United are going to be in the market for midfielders in January. Already, Manchester United have played Man City away, Liverpool away. They've played Arsenal. Yeah. They've played Chelsea. Mm-hmm. Four of the big boys. We're coming into a period of time now where Manchester United, when you look at who we're playing, you think to yourself, got a bit of a chance against these actually, because who else is there to play the top boys? Newcastle, I think, are in December. Tottenham, who've lost twice at home this season already. Villa. We've got Brighton. We've got Villa at 21st of December, I think they are. So
Bournemouth.
There is Bournemouth, yeah. But these are teams, Kev, that you look at them and you go, I absolutely feel like if we did half of what we did against Liverpool with that passion, with the desire, and then you start looking at us picking points up and more points up, and then we pick more points up, and we start to have a conversation here. Did we ride the storm early on in the season, and have we finally started to see where we can go?
Go on, sorry.
Go on.
I was going to say there was a question asked, which I thought was quite interesting. It is, looking at the table now, who's had the better start to the season, United or Liverpool?
Well, we've spent $500 million.
There were so many factors that got discussed in that. I was like, I never even thought about any of these things.
Let's not forget, they spent $500 million. They also renewed Van Dijk's contract for $400,000 a week. Salah's contract for $400,000 a week.
400K, unbelievable.
I'm going to say something here. I'm going to pay homage to the great Jamie Carragher, who once spoke about Casemiro, and he said these words. And I want him to think about these words for his own Mohamed Salah. When the football leaves you, it's time to leave. And it absolutely is. I thought Salah was abysmal yesterday. I thought Isak was abysmal. I thought Cody Gakpo, who I said at the start of the game was my danger man. I thought he was incredible. I think now Manchester United have to have that confidence and that arrogance that they can go and they can push teams. The fact that teams already now think or thought they knew how United were going to set up. Oh, it's going to be Sesko, they're going to lump it forward. Well, hang on a minute. There's a different variation here, because now they could play with the three revolving. And if they do that, what are they going to... There's all kinds of differences here. And also, I'd like to say, before I get back to the comments, Rúben Amorim got something else spot on last night. Something that we, Kev and I, against Chelsea, absolutely battered him for. Ahmad gets a yellow card. Still don't think it was a yellow card. He knew what was at stake. He knew what the environment was like. He knew it was Michael Oliver, and he took him off. And I applauded that, because I thought he's learnt there. He's absolutely learnt his lesson there. He knew that we were at that point 1-0 up. That game was waiting for a stupid decision to change it. It was. I'm surprised there wasn't a red card anyway.
Both the cards came off. It was Casemiro got one as well. I think
Casemiro straight off. I mean, I don't know if that was an injury or if he did just go.
A bit, well, it helped us, didn't it, that he got a yellow card and then he was saying I'm injured. So yeah.
Let's go through some more of these comments. Joel, good to see you. He says Rúben outsmarted Slot. We are also seeing the biggest crybaby in football right now, Mr. Spend $500 million himself, Slot.
He's getting slaughtered.
So he should. I mean, we watched the interview. I don't know if anybody watched it after the game. At one point, he tried to come out and say, "Oh, well, there's a question about offside for Harry Maguire."
Fractionally off. He said fractionally off.
It's my first one tonight, Kev. Fuck off, Slot. He was nowhere near. He was being played on by a couple there. Joking aside about Dyche and Ange, today we found out some things are more important than football. The tragic passing of our former captain Stuart Pearce's young son at the age of 21. Yeah, that was horrendous news. Thoughts go out to Pearce and family there. I demand credit sticking with this manager, says Jarl, when most channels wanted him gone.
And you know what? On the formation thing, which we can start talking about now. We can start talking about it again. Amorim will just say, I've been playing the same way all season. It's just this game it worked in. The system has not and we can only believe him because he's refused to do anything different or to change the way his system is. So the system has always been in play. It was just really highlighted yesterday because it beat the champions at their own pitch. So that's, his comeback can be, which I don't think he has come back, and he probably won't say that, or he'll probably allude to it. I haven't changed anything, actually. This is a system that's been in place that I've been trying to teach them. And there was a comment made earlier on about, do we think the players are behind him now? Do we think they weren't behind him? I never got the impression they weren't behind him. Do we think they weren't behind him?
There was a moment, Kev. I agree with you. I don't think it's they weren't behind him, but I just wonder after the Brentford game whether there was a stark and honest conversation between the management and the players where it was like, we've got to stop with excuses now. You guys are on the pitch to do this. Like we all said last night, we all said Dorgu was rubbish, and a couple of people in the chat said, "Oh, it's on Amorim. He brought him in." Well, Amorim brought him on because he thought he could do something. Yeah. I will defend Dorgu slightly. 21-year-old lad, still getting used to the Premier League, not even been here a year yet. To come on at Anfield, it is a tough place. I mean, I'm saying that like I've done it. I haven't, but I'm a fan. I watch it. I think if we can get a couple more players in, and I do sound greedy here, but if we can get a couple more players in, I'm excited to see what we could do. Now, look, this game of football, this bloody sport where we watch 22 men run around the field with a bloody football, with a ball, and we say all we do. Could all come crashing down on Saturday. We could be sat there Saturday going, "Oh, I can't believe this." But just maybe, now he's got that 2 in a row out of the way. Now that there is nothing to do with that, maybe we do go out there on Saturday. Maybe we do start to show what I think we were doing yesterday in spells, which is click as a team. Players start to understand what it is they're actually meant to be doing. Dalot was poor. Yes, he was. But do you know something? When you look at it back, he ran and ran and ran and ran.
Did do a lot of running. I
ran and ran, and every time Salah was back, he was back. Yeah. Harry Maguire.
Salah didn't have anything to do in the game really yesterday. He didn't really do a lot at
all. Sorry, quickly. Good evening, Dan. Hope you're well, mate. Good to see you. Really, really good to see you, mate. Ben says Harry Maguire got given the official man of the match and then gave it to Brian instead, saying he deserves it after working so hard and putting in a great performance. I mean, I'm not gonna dwell too much, but that's captain material right there. But I'll say what I say. Saying Amorim is the answer is very knee jerk. He's still got loads to prove, and Warbzo he has, and this is why we're having this conversation.
Yeah,
the conversation
still hasn't proved anything actually. No, it's just made things a bit better for him. It's like I said, maybe it's put more pressure on him because now he needs to back that up. But that's not just him; that's the team as well. But it'll always come back to the manager. If we now go and lose against Brighton, it'll be the manager's fault again. That's the easy narrative for everyone to go back to. It's the manager that's the problem. I've got more confidence that we'll beat Brighton now, simply after that result and the way we played.
Keno said it right, though, didn't he? Keno said, in training today, there'll be a different atmosphere. They'll feel like winners. They'll be pushing. They'll be ready for it. And they will. They absolutely. I can't. We're not saying he hasn't got anything to prove, Warbzo. So I agree with what you're saying there. And there is a long way to go, but I just feel like sometimes you have turning points, don't you? As a manager, you see a manager has a turning point game.
There was the connection to Arteta, which was these funny little coincidences and matchups that Arteta took. It wasn't until his 35th game that there was a turning point in a result, and that was Amorim's. I think there was a connection to the 35th game. It was his 35th or something like that. So, funny little things like that. And going on new midfield players, what do we think if we just if we're going to run, I'm not saying we will, but what if we're going to run now till the end? Then we play really, really well. Are we going to look and go, do we need two more midfield?
We absolutely can't, though, Kevin. This is, and it's a great question. I see what you're doing there, you sneaky little sausage. It's a great question, and no, we can't rest on that. We've Manchester United have done that for so long, haven't they? Under the previous regime, where they go, well, we don't need any new signings actually because the lads are doing okay. We've had an upturn in form. It goes back to buying when you're at your best. We are nowhere near at our best, but buying when we're in good form and bringing better players into the system, I think would make.
It's a Man United way. That's a Man United way, for sure. But I'm just a little bit of devil's advocate there, sort of idea. You know, we're going to start clicking in midfield. They're going to Maina will start rotating in more. Regati starts rotating in more, playing well. We're going well. We're going to buy two midfielders. Where are they going to play? Or that sort of idea.
Correct. Paul says, evening lads, so at the next 5 games we have, how many points would you be happy with now? I'm thinking 11. Beat Brighton, Forest, draw at Spurs, beat Everton and draw at Palace. I'll put a poll up in a second about that. I'll start a comment in a minute, Paul, and we'll let me start that and we'll come back to that. Jamie says, did you see Slot moaning about United saying the long balls and the low block? Absolutely, but here's my question to Slot. Can't have it your own way, and I wanted to pose this question because I popped onto 12th man before this just to give.
I watched a bit of it, Dan. Yeah.
And I wanted to pose a question, but time ran out, and I wanted to say, Liverpool fans at the moment, I did have a question. Did Slot win the Premier League last season with Klopp's team with a group of players united under a previous manager, and now we're seeing a few of those players gone with a different manager? Are we actually seeing what Slot's all about? It's a question that needs asking because to lose the games that they have. And I think they've conceded 12, is it, in the Premier League this season? They've played 8. They'd only conceded 3 at this point last season. So, interesting. Ben also said...
It was 400 days since Liverpool have lost at Anfield.
Good. And hopefully it'll be soon. And
Slot was called out for saying that. Or they came and played. It was a lot of people called him out for saying that, and that going, that's not good enough for him to say.
And
that.
And Ben quite rightly says, think it was more to make sure we didn't go down to 10. That Dorgo come on, it was, and that was good in-game management by.
Amorim pretty much said that. That's pretty much what he said. He had to come off because Ahmad was really upset or unhappy. Wasn't pleased at coming off.
Yeah. Giles says, I just know how Rúben did it with Sporting. It took them 2 years to get running after he removed every star player he had who was not up to par. Look, there's a lot of football left to be played this season. And I do think this season we are still going to have games where we're going to be pulling our hair out and going, how? But moments like last night just inject that belief back into you a little bit. Andy says, two central midfielders and it could transform our season. I couldn't agree more with that. Did you see the arrival of the players for training today? This one guy was asking who they thought was the best player. Bruno said Lemmy, Cunha, Harry and Yoro was really important for that win. Good to hear. Let's enjoy these moments because we know what happens. I tell you what happens. We get more moments like this. I don't think for 1 second Amorim's done with these moments. He wants these moments. We've got to give the guy a break, haven't we? Every other game he's getting something about his job, isn't he?
Remember the interview we watched with Van Dijk after the game? What he said twice.
Humble. Stay humble. Stay humble. Moxie says, if you watch the previous press conferences, whenever they go back to the formation, he has always said that when he thinks the players understand what he is asking them to do, we will see tweaks. Maybe that's what we're starting to see now. Do you think Sesko will still be do you think Sesko will be a bit part player rather than a starter? No, I don't. I think what we've seen yesterday is against teams that play a specific way, we've shown a way that we can bring them out. And the teams that will have to do stuff like that, it wouldn't surprise me if against Everton we went with the front three like that because they've got Tarkowski at the back. They play big. They love a battle. They love a tackle. So it's good. And like I said, it makes other teams think more now. It's not just it's United. They're going to do this. They're going to do that.
I'm almost a bit annoyed that we didn't straight away recognise that we didn't try and play out for the back once yesterday. I'm annoyed at myself for not recognising that because that's what Liverpool want you to do because they'll come and get the ball off you in 2 seconds when you try and play out against them, and then that's a goal each time. So they just weren't given that opportunity at all. I'm annoyed. I didn't recognise that as. Why is he kicking why does he keep kicking that? I don't even understand you highlighted it from the very start, and I was just going with it and thinking, well, okay, he's just doing that. But by the end, I was going, that is an odd tactic to just keep kicking the ball long.
You were a little pernickety. You were so funny. I went, Van Dijk wins the first one, and you were like, yeah, and Maguire's won the second one.
He did.
Giles says Liverpool have not been convincing since the start of the season. They haven't, and long may it continue. I do think what we're beginning to see with the players. I do think that is what we're beginning to see with the players. Hopefully, says Moxie. And Ben says, with the takeover rumours, do you think that will put the Glazers and Jim off wanting to spend in January, or do you think it encourages them even more? I mean, look, there's news coming out about the takeover. I mentioned it slightly yesterday that they're looking at David Beckham and Wayne Rooney to be part of this. Do you know what? On days like today, we want the takeover, of course we do. But days like today, you think that can be at the back of our mind for one day. I'm ready to see Harry get his roses and get a 1 or 2 year contract. I'm so glad you said that, Joel. You've brought me into my next segue. And also, big shout out to Ali. Hope you are well.
Hi, Ali. How you doing?
Into Mrs. Robinson, as always. Hope you are well, my friend. It was tactical leaving Tesco. It absolutely was.
Yeah, completely.
Now,
it worked really, really well.
We had a conversation about a week ago where I said, Harry Maguire, does he deserve one more contract if he's willing to take a pay cut? Now, we can talk about emotion. We can talk about what he brings to the team in these clutch moments where every now and then he'll pop up with these important moments. But I think also what we saw yesterday is just how important it is to have a character like Harry Maguire around the squad, around the club. And I saw a lot of people say, well, Casemiro, you've got to give it, if he's willing to take a pay cut and he's willing to give his knowledge, blah, 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 then we should keep him. But shouldn't we be doing the exact same for Harry Maguire here?
Yeah, I was wrong. I was wrong about that for sure. Yeah, I was wrong.
In fact, let's put it to a poll. Let's put it to a poll. Let's put it to a poll and let's see if people have changed their minds. Does Harry?
I think I'm just keen for more new defenders. That's why, because I still don't know how. None of us know how reliable Martinez is going to be when he comes back. We don't know whether he's going to come back as fit and just slip right in, and that's it. He's fine. He'll be fine. He'll carry on, and he'll do what he does. Or he'll just keep getting niggles now constantly. Every hard game that he has to put in, every firm challenge that he makes or that goes against him. People putting in on him. Is he going to be back to his best thing? And we're not going to know that for months, probably months and months. Yeah. We're not going to know that. So I think that's where my head was at with Harry Maguire. And I don't know. It's almost like I feel really bad for him. All the stuff he's gone through at United. He'd just go and finish off his career somewhere out of the spotlight for a bit. But I don't think he wants to really. I think he does want to stay and be at United. And when he's starting and plays the whole game, he's played the whole game yesterday as well, by the way.
Yeah. And he was a rock, Kev. He was a rock.
And De Ligt again coming out and saying in an interview that that he played in a number of leagues. De Ligt has, and he's just saying he still can't believe how in every single game it's fast. You can't stop. You can't get turned around for something else coming at you. The physicality is just everything's just completely different in this league.
Get your votes in, everyone. I've put it in there. Does Harry Maguire deserve? I've spelt deserve wrong. You'll have to forgive me. Does he deserve a new contract? Let me go through some more of these comments whilst we're.
No, and I don't. Is that? Are we going to be sort of with our heart a little bit, or just off the back of yesterday, we're going to say he deserves it now?
But Kev, I go back to what I said, mate, and you need people around that changing room that are good, honest people. Yeah. We saw the summer where Pogba come, where he definitely had an influence on Lingard, on Rashford, and you saw that. I mean, Rooney's spoken about it after a loss. They're all dancing and doing videos in the bloody changing room, and there's nothing there. Again, when we talk about Maguire wanting to give the Man of the Match award to Brian, recognising he knew, because there was questions started to be asked about Brian, which makes me laugh. He knew he needed that, and that is the sign of you don't need a captain to wear an armband on the pitch. You need a group of captains, and I just think this guy, if he's willing to take a pay cut to stay at Manchester United, how many times have we lambasted players for wanting more money who have given half the effort that guy's given? So I think he will know as well, Kev. He will know that he will not be a starter week in, week out for Manchester United. But equally, I go back to, it's equally as important to have characters like that coming off the bench than starting on the field. And you made a good point as well about Martinez. Martinez is so close to his comeback now. Could be in the squad against Brighton. They may rest him and wait for Forest. We're getting into better positions here. We're getting into better options on the pitch. Mm-hmm. These square pegs in round holes that we've been used to for so long, well, we're starting to see them move away. You know, Luke Shaw, we were saying last night, you said it a couple of times, why don't we put a defender on Yoro there and why don't we push Luke Shaw up the field a little bit? I think if Luke Shaw hadn't run his arse off like he had, I think maybe that's an option. And I wonder if that's an option maybe when Martinez is back playing fully fit that he will look at. So I think Maguire deserves a contract. Get you
Gary
both.
Neville made a comment, Dan, yesterday in his podcast, which I've watched all of this stuff. See, I never watch any of this stuff, and it's all dead interesting stuff. And it's and really, it's because we won. Because otherwise, I'm not interested. Because the narrative's so negative, it just annoys me, right? But Gary Neville made a point again, which I hadn't really found. And then I thought about it more. Harry Maguire yesterday was probably the only player on the pitch out of all of the players, Man United and Liverpool, that really understood what that derby was all about, the rivalry between the two clubs. He's been there for 7 years and he's never won one. He's never won at Anfield. So he's possibly the only player that really understood that proper rivalry that was on the pitch. I know Manu came on in the end and he grew up with it, but I thought, yeah, he is, because he's just been at the club and played in all of these games. And all the Liverpool players are brand new. Like Van Dijk's been there a few years, but you know, it probably was. Harry Maguire's had the most experience of what that derby's like.
Yeah, I agree. Comments here coming in. So Giles says, we do have 8 defenders, 3 very young defenders who are our future. For them to have De Ligt and Maguire around them is so important. I couldn't agree more. Yeah. Jamie says Harry deserves a statue outside of Old Trafford.
One massive statue.
Andy says Rashford could have learned from Maguire how to conduct himself, because Maguire handled himself impeccably and always has, by the way, and always speaks very well in interviews. A big thanks to Ben Chappie and, of course, the legend that is for Dan. You for coming along for Cavs Karaoke. Always on a Saturday at 9 o'clock. Make sure you go and tune in. Always some decent tunes and some good vibes as always. Warbzo comes in and says, I'm still no. I do love his character, but he's cost us more than he's helped us. And I think the older he gets, the worse he'll get. You don't win leagues being sentimental. And I agree, but I also disagree. I think
it's really tough.
It is, and Warbs, I'm glad you said that, because this is why we do this channel. We're not always going to agree. I just think having people like that around the club they're worth their weight in gold, because they are the people that bring the lads down, bring them down to a level. I can't ever picture Bruno on the back of a 3 or 4 game loss, if that's what we were to see, being the one to go out there and say, lads, come on, it's this, that, and the other. I think Harry Maguire is someone that gets the culture.
How many managers has he been through?
5. Hang on, let's count it. Right, so Ollie, Ralph.
Who brought him into the club? Was it
Ollie,
right.
Ollie, Ralph, Ten Hag, Van Nistelrooy, Amorim. Yeah, 5 managers. Five managers he's been.
Played for all of them.
Cook played for all of them. Moxie says Keno praised his experience in defending of set pieces afterwards. And if you haven't already listened to the Wayne Rooney show on BBC, he was saying why Maguire should be in the England squad. I don't disagree with that at all. Ben says after all the shite Maguire has been through, let's be honest, it's been bullying. He's
still bullied him yesterday.
Got the captaincy taken off him again, stuck with it and keeps giving everything. Most would have left. Most would have left and most would have checked out. I think most would have checked out. Steve-O says, great to have options with Harry at the back. Amorim will change the defence against Brighton, particularly with the speed of the attack like Minte, and the ball over the top. Harry isn't the fastest. Cunha was outstanding yesterday too. His work rate and the way he keeps the ball is great. Completely agree.
That can apply to yesterday. It was Isaac. He was up against yesterday. He was up against yesterday. And you know what the narrative on that again now is he's still not fit.
No.
Even though they said he was 100% fit yesterday.
Kev's definitely got the most. He's got 2 of them up here. I can't fit in any of them.
2 of them are mine in the background.
Still trying to size down. Rumours doing. I saw this today. Rumours doing the rounds that United interested in signing Elliot Anderson. If our PSR rumours are true, Forest may have to sell. Well, they've just paid $7 million.
Oh, right, okay.
Haven't they? Guys, I'm going to close that poll. 85% of you have said that you think Maguire deserves a new contract. You got to love emotion with football, haven't you? Moxie says, I said a while ago about Shaw going back to left wing back. I really do think he could do a job there, and he's probably our best option. Absolutely, Shaw, says Chappie. We're about to have a full team.
If we're saying that the defence is going to be between Martinez, De Ligt, Maguire, and Yoro, then the people that are going to play on the left-sided wing back, you've either got Shaw or Dalot potentially, or Dorgu, and Leon's not in the question. Diego Leon's not in the question. So who out of those three would you want playing at your left wing back?
Yeah, and of course, and also as well, it goes back to, yes, Harry Maguire was fantastic yesterday. He was, and he was my man of the match. But don't get it twisted from me, chat. You know, if Martinez comes back and gets match fit and is fully fit, I absolutely want to see that back three of being Martinez, De Ligt, and Yoro.
Yeah, and I think that's what it will be, Dan. I think
it talks about options, Kev. It's just other options, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Harry was one of our best players last season. No, he wasn't there for Mourinho, Andy, I don't think. No, he was definitely there when Ollie took over. Agree about Maguire being kept around for his experience, as mentioned. Above, we have a lot of young defenders, like keeping Johnny Evans last season and Heaton the last two. Yeah, agree with that. I've been critical about Maguire, says Dan, in the past, and wanted to see him out of the club. I don't mind being proven wrong at all. Maguire deserves a new contract. I love that comment. And take care, Ali. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping in.
Here, Ali. Bye.
Ronan says, Liverpool fans petition to rename their captain and manager Virgil van Twerk and Arnie Sly.
He was getting called some names yesterday, Virgil van Twerk.
That's hilarious, man.
You know what? And you know what? A lot of comments I noticed in like the various streams that I'd clicked into, it was the fan reactions ones, is they were all saying, He's quite overrated, and he's been overrated for years. Because what did I say to you about Van? Do you remember what I'd said to you about Van Dijk? You know, everyone calls him the Rolls Royce and everything. I thought he said, I used to watch him in Scotland when I lived in Scotland. He avoids the big moments, and then when there's a one-on-one tackle, that's when he's getting looked at, and he doesn't get involved in the game.
Reactionary.
And it's what a fantastic, sensational pass from Van Dijk. But actually, he avoids getting involved in the big moments in the game, or like he did yesterday, whether he's on the downfall or not, I don't think he is, pointing at somebody else to come and get the ball. Even when he boots the ball in his opponent, he boots the ball in his teammate's face, and he still blames the teammate. Getting the ball.
He was appalling yesterday, Kirkes. I'll come to Mustafa's comment. I just want to come to this. Warbzo says, 100 grand a week cheerleader is a job I'd love. How many cheerleaders have you seen smash one in at the back post at Anfield to win the game? Come on now. What are we doing?
Well, Warbzo can have his. That's fine. You know,
of course he can.
That's fine. Of course he can. That's fine. We don't agree with you.
Mustafa says, when Harry Maguire used to wear the armband, the pressure got to him. When Solskjaer gave it him, gave it him. He's trusted by Rúben Amorim. He's clutch when needed, and I agree with that absolutely. If Leach comes back fit, our back three should be definitely Yoro, De Ligt, Martinez, Maz right wing back, Shaw left wing back. We then have a flexible back five that can press and cover along the line. I just wonder if he's waiting for this. I just wonder if he's waiting and waiting.
Shaw's a much better crosser as well. He's a much better crosser of the ball.
Dorgu can't do it.
We've not seen him having to really do a lot of sprints. I mean, I know Isak outran him yesterday, but Isak will outrun a lot of people. You know, so we've not seen what he's like sprinting backwards and forwards, which is what that role needs you to do. But he's crossing and he's long from side to side, you know, across the pitch, the diagonals. He's a good passer like that because he's an experienced and older player.
And he wants to go to the World Cup, so he's going to be putting in a shift, isn't he?
Yeah. I hope Mason Mount's pushing for his World Cup, you know, his England chance again. I really do, because I think
Mason Mount's a shit house. He knew what he was doing at Anfield, and I loved it yesterday. Warbzo with a cheeky smile there. Next up from the academy, says Mustafa, is Shea Lacey. Absolutely. I can't wait to see. This is what annoys me about us buggering it up in the Carabao Cup, because I'd love to have seen him come on and have a couple of games in the Cups, but he is training with the first team a lot more. Brian ghosted past Van Dijk as if he wasn't there. He absolutely did. Van Dijk was too busy trying to annihilate his own players. Ben says, seen a meme of McAllister with that thing on his head saying when you have football at 4:30 but also swimming at 6:30. I bring Leach off the bench against Brighton, says Mustafa. Look, again, one thing I will say about Amorim is we know for sure that under Ten Hag he was rushed back several times. Leacher, even if he starts, is only going to play 60 minutes because we know Amorim makes the subs after 60 minutes. So,
well, he's been close for a couple of weeks, hasn't he? We almost some might say, oh, he might start against this, he might start against this team. So he must be pretty much ready now. He's not going to be match fit, obviously. I don't think he'll be a starter anyway.
Let's have a look if they've got any news. Yeah, they are saying he's back against Brighton. So whether or not that happens, we'll have to see. I'm not sure. I'm not so sure. I put Shaw on the left wing back anymore. It's fair, Jal. And Moxie says both of those are better with their final ball, Kevin. They absolutely are. Now,
that's fine. You know what? And again, we're not going to find that out, are we? Until there's potential for that to happen, and that'll only happen when we can definitely play a different three in defence. Because it's always going to be three. He's not changing to a four.
Let me, Kev, I'm going to bring up the next 5 fixtures in line with what was asked before. So Manchester United, I've put a space. I put Manchester United next.
Well, that Liverpool one was the end. I think the last time we sort of asked a question around this was that Liverpool game was the end of I think there was a 6-game spell. We said, how many points do we think we'd get against them? And I think I said 15. I don't think we've got 15, but I said the only team we'll lose against is Liverpool. And that's one of the teams we've beaten.
Here we go. Perfect. Right, this will do it. Let me share the screen. Let me share. I'm going to share the screen with you today.
Nice song. That was a nice song, Dan. Lovely.
Thank you, mate. I've got them in the locker. Right then, you'll have to excuse I tell you what, I'm so sorry I have to do this because I get so anal about this. Let me just change the background.
Anal? You get anal about it.
Right, let me zoom in on this and let's go through these fixtures. Right. Let me just scroll down a second. Right. So next up, we got Brighton at home. Then we have Forest away. Then we have Spurs away. Oof. Everton at home. Palace away. Now, can I tell you something, Kev? Out of all those fixtures, the only one I'm really worried about is the Palace away. I mean that. Palace away is the only one that I'm really, really worried about out of those fixtures.
There's a potential for a bit of manager bounce with Forest potential, or for them to be a bit more difficult to play against because it's going to be. Is it Sean Dyche? Have they announced him yet? Because
it's pretty much Wolfie's in bits. Bless him. Let me do the poll here. How many points from the next 5 games, and we'll go through this. So
I'm far more confident about our home games now. I think if we can go away to Anfield and put in a performance and I know it's been a hit and miss with us, and why wouldn't it continue to be hit and miss? But I think that's just a massive turning point yesterday, and I'm not trying to put too much onto it. Like everyone's saying, you've got some people just going. So what does that mean for Man United? And a lot of people just go, nothing. It doesn't mean anything for Man United. They're still not good enough.
And so it shouldn't. No, so it shouldn't. Absolutely shouldn't. We should. I think Amorim will, above anyone, will want us just to be taking it game at a time. But get your votes in, guys, because I've put here, and Kev, I'll ask you this question: how many points from the next 5 games? 0 to 3, 4 to 7, 8 to 11, or 12 to 15? Talk to me, Kev.
Just go down again, Dan. What's the one after Tottenham? So Everton, where's that? Is that at home? That's at home.
At home. 2 days after my birthday, that is.
Are we including Crystal Palace in that?
Yeah, that's the 5th one.
And where's that? Is that at Crystal Palace?
At Palace, we've got a terrible record there.
I would say between 8 and 11, I would vote then.
8 and 11.
Between 8 and 11.
Get your comments in as well, chat. Tell me what you're thinking here. Are the next 5 games, what do you think? So I'm going to break it down with this. United Brighton. I think we beat Brighton. I do. I think we're riding the wave of emotion.
Yeah.
I think we beat Forest.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Sean Dyche. I think we draw at Spurs.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. 7, so that's 7 points.
I think we beat Everton.
So that's 10. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then
I'm going to be the bearer of bad news here. I think we lose to Palace.
I think we'd get a draw there, so that's why I've gone. That's what I thought we'd get 11.
So I've gone 10. You've gone 11. Let's go through some of the comments here, guys. Dan, did you see the West Ham fan power tonight? Yeah, absolutely. I've been speaking to Lawless about that. It's time to go on with them. Leacher needs to cut out silly challenges. How many of us moan about the price we paid for Harry and how we all love him? Well, it was a lot, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Going to the Everton game, hopefully I'll still be buzzing to go by then. You absolutely will, Dan. There are 3 to 5 academy players knocking on the door. Kone, Shea Lacey, Fletcher and Amir Matonto, I think that is. They're also right wing backs and wingers. Moxie says, I would be deported. I was going to say deported. I would be
disappointed. No one's going to know.
I'd be disappointed if we don't come away with a minimum of 10 points, but I'm going 13. Love that from Moxie. What a difference a day makes. Giles says only 2 home games in the next 5 games. Yeah, but we've won away. We've broke that curse. Our last away win was at Leicester.
That will do a lot. That will do a massive amount for the players' heads. I'm not saying for the team or they're going to play. Just for their heads, that'll just settle them more. As Roy Keane said, that'll do something. That just gives you a little something. We can go away at Liverpool and them batter us for parts of the game, be all over us, but us still come away with the win.
I agree. Warbzo's gone win, draw, loss, win, draw. So he's gone 3, 4, 7, 8 points. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Andy's gone straight in with 15 points. Good night, Andy. Love that. Ben's gone 13, I reckon. Draw with Palace and win the rest. Draw with Palace, says Mustafa. That is 2 draws.
Yeah, we're saying 2 draws, aren't we? Palace and you're saying we lose to Palace. I think we'll draw with Palace and Tottenham.
We're capable of winning them all if we're.
Yeah, we are. And you know what? Let's caveat that as well. I expect us to win all of them, but I'm trying to, just the realism part comes into it.
I get it. Giles says can't draw or lose to Spurs. That is a must win or win to break the Spurs curse. Absolutely. And please, guys, says Steve. Steve's coming in. Let me just get rid of that screen a second. And let me just put my nice little background back on there. Nope. Hang on a minute. What have I done here with this? Oh, I know what I've done. There we go. Nice and steady. And Steve's gone, guys. We are still a possible inconsistent team, not proved enough yet to beat by beating the smaller clubs, and I get that. But what I will say is, if we were to go and get, a lot of us are saying it's between the sort of 8 to I don't know 13 points mark. There are teams that have got to play each other a lot around, who are above us around each other. Manchester United, if we were to do that, if we were to go and be counted for and get those results and push ourselves up. Imagine, Kev, if we find ourselves at Christmas time, when I'm in lovely, lovely New York, in a position where we're looking at ourselves going, well, we're in the European chat here. And actually, we're quite comfortable in the Europa League chat here. Hang on a minute. We go out there and get a couple of midfielders. There's 5 spots for the Champions League, and I'm not getting ahead of myself, but football's a crazy thing. There are teams still being inconsistent. It gives ourselves the best opportunity. Absolutely does.
I said I hoped that our result. I said there'd be some crazy results this weekend on Saturday or Friday when we did the stream, and I said I hope ours is one of them, and it was. Because no one expected us to beat Liverpool at Anfield. Nobody did, and especially when the team sheets. I know Liverpool fans saying they weren't happy with their team sheet and everything, and Mo Salah should be getting dropped now, and etc. And Ekitike should be playing, even though. Isak's got the reputation for the Premier League. It's all these choices, but when they saw our team sheet, we were entirely written off then at that point as well. Even if some people were still on the fence at that, I think we can go and get a win. Oh, look at there's no way we're winning. Like somebody I know, pretty quite close to me, said something similar.
Yeah.
That's you, by the way.
I remember, mate. I remember. Just remember, I'm married, so I'm pessimistic most of the time.
Well, I'm divorced, so I mean.
I know, I was just thinking that. We win all them games and we'll be in the Champions League, I think Andy means there. We go unbeaten in the next 5 games, win, draw. That I'd be happy with that. Mustafa says we did beat Sunderland.
That's exactly what I was going to say as well. We beat Sunderland. There's a small team. That's not getting mentioned at all now.
Yeah, but they're 7th in the league.
Yeah, but that's not the narrative, Dan. That's not the narrative. The narrative is
we went away and we did the impossible and beat Liverpool. If we win the next 2, we're on for Europe, says Mustafa. Love that. Next Saturday we need to mark Welbeck. Yeah, he always scores against us. Always score. And Ben. Aim higher than that, Dan. We're in the race.
I'm not even going to laugh at that because you see in my head, I'm not saying it out loud. That's what I think that until it's not possible. That's what I think because I've gone from watching my first swear of the day. I've gone from watching a shit United where we were just mediocre under Ron Atkinson and we're just a bit rubbish to getting a bit better, world beaters for a long time. Now to this. We don't know how to replace one of the best managers, arguably, that's ever going to have managed in football. So now that's where we are now. So, but in my head, I still think at the start of every season, we need to go out and win the Premier League because we've not won it. And until it's to the point where we go, oh, we've got absolutely no chance. Forget the team, what the team is, how the team's playing. You never know football. Leicester won the league, Dan. Leicester won the league, won the Premier League. So, I know that's what Forest are doing. The Forest did last season. They had a Leicester season, and now they're having their season after. But remember, everyone, Leicester won the league. Yeah. So you never know what's going to happen in football. And we could have a little giggle like we're still in for the title. But at the end of the day, we're only 6 points off the top.
I agree.
So in any other season, if you're 6 points off the top, do you still think you've got a chance at winning the title?
Well, I mean, when you've got moments like this, Kev, back to ball played back across, and it's I'm never going to get bored of that video. I promise you. Till the day I die, I'm never going to get bored.
Why should you?
But when you have moments like that, absolutely. Good night.
I don't know if anybody else watches the react. I'm sure people do. If I do, I'm sure other people do. The compilations of the reactions of the reactors. It's absolutely brilliant watching the Liverpool.
I saw one Liverpool fan say, "I'll never forgive Slot. Not even if he was to win the quadruple." I thought, "Oh, get in the bin."
And I saw somebody in the chat going, "Do we think he should have stopped the game?" No.
Definitely
not.
No,
I don't think you should have stopped the
game. Blame it on your captain. Mustafa says, question, would you have been confident with Ange facing Forest or Dyche? I'm definitely happy it's Dyche because we have a terrible record against big
that's what I was thinking. My only little negative is it is Sean Dyche. He does know what he's doing in the Premier League, and maybe it's a bit too early to really get the impact of the manager base, but sometimes that is straight away on a team, and they'll shore up anyway. They'll definitely be a bit tighter, I think.
6 points off the top, 8 games in. 50% of those games have been arguably the top 5 teams in the league. I agree with that, and Moxie loves that. So does Steve-O. I'll end the vote here before I do. Sorry, Warbler says league is weird this season. It's possible Liverpool are 4th, even though they're so bad. Stranger things have happened. I agree with that. I'm going to end the poll here, and I think it's quite incredible that nobody has chosen 0 to 3 or 4 to 7 points. We've got 58% of us have gone 8 to 11, 42% of us have gone 12 to 15. And I think that's just a testament to just how different it feels when you come off the back of a fantastic performance. Now, guys, there won't be a show tomorrow, and I've got some personal things I need to take care of. We will be back on Wednesday. Absolutely adore each and every one of you. Thank you very much for sticking with us tonight. A bit of an extended show. Kev, where can they find you, dude?
They can find me in the studio every day, ×3, Kev77, doing well. Thanks for people that have come across. I'm sure some of you have. I'm sure I've seen some of you in the comments. And some of you have been in the live streams as well. Come along. Dan will be singing at some point. Hopefully this Saturday, he'll be singing on this channel. He needs to pick his song and come and practice. But yeah, 9 o'clock every Saturday, I do a live stream and I do my videos in the week of music reactions. They're all top quality bands and some songs you'll know, cover songs that you'll know as well. I know you've enjoyed a couple of the cover songs, Dan, that you've listened to as
Correct.
well.
Correct.
So join in and come and watch me on my journey. It'll all mean a lot. If you're not into music, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Who's not into music, man? Who's not into music?
Some people aren't.
Guys,
some people are not into football, Dan. Some people are not into football.
I know one of them's downstairs. I went back to yours last night and I was like, I can't believe it. And she was like, imagine not loving football. Guys, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for sticking with tonight. I think there's only one real way to leave this. Dan United, Kev United, Manchester United, Uta back to ball played back across, and it's Get